Let's dive right into this explainer. Today, we are looking at a pretty wild, almost jarring paradox about human ability and our deep daily dependence on money. We're going to completely unpack this contrast between how animals survive on pure instinct and how we as humans navigate survival, purpose, and our own inherent value. Picture a bird building a nest. It's out there, gathering twigs, weaving them all together, and constructing a home with absolute zero waste precision. And seeing that raises a massive question. If a bird just inherently knows how to survive, why do humans, arguably the most intelligent creatures on Earth, need cash just to stay alive? Is money something we were literally designed to depend on, or is it just a system we invented? I mean, think about it. That bird doesn't have a resume, it definitely hasn't taken a university engineering class, it doesn't update its LinkedIn profile, and it certainly isn't stressing out over interest rates. Yet, it flawlessly executes its design to build a home and protect its young. It's this incredible pattern we see in bees, spiders, and ants, all throughout creation. It sets up this absolutely beautiful contrast. You see, while animals were given natural provisions, like instincts and wings, human beings were equipped with something totally different. We were given high-level intelligence, hands, language, and the immense responsibility to actually build civilizations. We were equipped with everything we needed to survive before a single coin was ever minted. And this is exactly where the text in Genesis hits on the core of human identity. It shows that human beings were never meant to just be passive consumers. Instead, we were designed to actively cultivate, govern, and steward the earth. We're supposed to be active participants in creation, meant to use these profound abilities that were given to us. If we rewind the clock a bit, way before modern currency was ever a thing, human ability was already fully functioning. People still ate, they found shelter, they built communities. But how? Well, they hunted, they farmed, and they cooperated. Money only came along much later to solve a very specific problem: how to efficiently exchange the value of those goods. You know, if I have vegetables and you have tools, money just makes that trade a whole lot easier. So here's the real kicker. Work actually existed way before salaries did. Genesis chapter 2 notes that humanity was placed in the garden specifically to work it and take care of it. Our original foundational design was to use the abilities placed in us to cultivate the world around us. And that was long before employment contracts or giant corporations ever entered the picture. Now, let's be realistic for a second. We are not birds, right? A bird doesn't need a hospital, an electrical grid, or a paved highway. Human civilization is wonderfully, wildly complex, and we rely on millions of people specializing in all sorts of different fields. So money is a brilliant, absolutely necessary tool that we developed just so we can organize and trade all these diverse abilities. But looking around at our society today, it brings up a pretty uncomfortable question. Have we completely blurred the line between using money as a helpful tool and depending on it entirely for our survival? Have we actually made the tool itself so central that we've forgotten the inherent abilities we possessed before that tool even existed? Which brings us right to what Jesus says in Matthew chapter 6. He actually points his listeners right back to creation. He says, "Look at the birds of the air." Now, he isn't giving us a license to just be lazy. Rather, it's this profound philosophical lesson about trust. He's basically asking, if creation is so deeply cared for, can you trust God with your life rather than being totally consumed by financial anxiety? Now, to be clear, this is a crucial distinction. God's provision doesn't equal effortless living. I mean, the bird still has to fly, search, gather, and build. God's provision actually operates through the abilities he placed inside creation. Trusting God doesn't mean refusing to work. In fact, it aligns perfectly with the diligent responsibility emphasized throughout the rest of Scripture. It totally reshapes how we think about value. Think about a mother caring for a child. That creates immense value. Or a teacher sharing a life-changing skill. Or a musician creating beautiful art. All these actions create incredible worth through God-given abilities, even if a single dollar never changes hands. Money is merely one way society measures that value. It is definitely not the source of it. And here's a massive, vital distinction from the biblical text. It does not say that money itself is evil. The problem isn't possessing wealth. The real danger lies in allowing wealth to possess us. When we allow our money, or honestly our lack of it, to become our core identity and our ultimate purpose, well, that is when things go dangerously wrong. It basically boils down to this idea: you just cannot serve two masters. A tool becomes incredibly dangerous when the person holding it is suddenly controlled by it. When money stops being a resource we use and transforms into a master that dictates our every single move and emotion, we've completely lost our original design. So, how do we stay grounded? Well, Psalm 24 gives us this perspective. God is the ultimate owner of all creation. And honestly, that is incredibly freeing. It means our foundational trust belongs to Him, not to volatile up and down economic systems. It takes that crushing weight off of our bank accounts and places it right back onto the Creator who equipped us in the first place. And that leads us to a massive paradigm shift. Our modern world constantly conditions us to ask one thing: how much money do I have? As if that's the only way to know if we're going to be okay. But we need to flip that script completely. We have to stop measuring our complete worth by our income and start recognizing the incredibly rich resources already placed inside of us. Instead, ask yourself, what abilities do I actually have? What can I learn to do? What problems can I solve for people? Who can I help? What can I build or create or teach? When you ask these questions, your entire perspective changes. You realize that someone can be financially broke, but incredibly wealthy in relationships, wisdom, and purpose. Your absolute greatest asset isn't your financial capital. It's the intelligence and creativity hardwired into your design. So the very next time you happen to see a bird building a nest with no university degree and no business plan, remember that before you ever earned your very first cent, you are already profoundly equipped. The bird isn't showing us how to live without money, it's reminding us who gave us the ability to live in the first place. And that leaves us with one vital, empowering question to wrestle with today. What did God place inside me?